warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syed Muhammad Faiz bin Syed Muhammad Zubir, and this project has been supervised by Sir Muhammad Hamis Muhammad Razi. As you can see, the title of this project is Email Notification as Microservice for Developer in USF. So let's proceed the current approach by our stakeholder. So basically, our stakeholder is a developer team. They has a lot of applications, and those applications consist of email notification system, email notification features. Sorry. So in order to have these features during their development time, their team will request a credential of SMTP from the server maintainer. So once their application was deployed, sometimes they will receive a reports where their end user did not receive their email from the application. So most of the applications are using a monolithic architecture. This is because it's easier for their team to develop. So those applications that has a notification features, those notification features are running quite slow during a peak hour. As I said previously, their team need to request the SMTP credential from the server maintainer. So basically, the server maintainer need to entertain them by approving those requests and sending those credentials to them. So now let's take a look on our problem. So one of our problem is server timeout. This is because those notification features that are running too long, or it took too much time to be done. Okay, as you can see in this figure, usually the emailing process will take 1 to 5 seconds to be done. So, and you can see below on the user application on the web server, it needs 30 seconds before it can come up with a server timeout error. So while this problem is occurring, this is because the emailing process sometimes will take more than 30 seconds. That's why the server timeout error has occurred. As the problem continued, it has affected other things. So now those notifications are not being sent or failed to be sent. So the problem here is those notifications are not being logged. Hence, the developer will have a hard time to track or to debug their system, to track all those reports where their end user said the email are not received on their side. So it's hard for the developer to debug their system because those notification status will not be recorded or logged in their system. So let's proceed to our last problem statement, which is no proper platform to manage requests from developer. So basically, this problem is highly related to the server maintainer. So this server maintainer found it inconvenient for them to manage all those requests from developer through the inbox or through this email. As we know, in the email there is a lot of other email in there, so there is have unnecessary things that not related to the task, such as to manage the request from developer. So sometimes once they wanted to track all those requests back, it's hard for them to do that. Okay, we proceed to our objective. We have 3 objectives here. So firstly is to analyze the current approach used for the email notification in the PPKT application and the process of requesting and approving requests for accessing the SMTP server. So the second is to design a microservice and web-based system to process requests and approval to access the microservice. And the last objective is to develop the microservice and the web-based system itself for the PPKT at USM Engineering Campus. So here is our scope and the proposed solutions of this project. Firstly, of course, to develop the microservice for the email notification by providing a REST API, so the developer can use this API to set up in their environment. So this microservice also will be developed to cut out the need to wait for their end user when sending those email. to their inbox. As you can see in this figure, it is a combination of the previous figure with our proposed microservice. As you can see below, this user application or their end user are expected to wait below 1 second to wait for the emailing process. So the emailing process will be completed fully from the microservice. So the waiting time of 1 to 5 seconds will be dealt by this microservice. And now let's proceed to our next scope and purpose solution. Now we are proposing a web-based system to serve as a platform for developer to make a request to use the API. So those API can be used immediately once the developer has set up the environment by using those API. The developer also now can track all those notification status because the microservice has record all those notification status even though either it's success or fail. And this web-based system also can be used by the maintainer. The maintainer now can track all those all those application, all those requests by the developer. Let's see who has suggested this solution and who said it is good. So during my literature review, there are several authors said the microservice is good. One of them is Newman. What they said that microservice architecture can handle the challenge faced by monolithic architecture. Microservice architecture is an approach to cope with the problem by using the monolithic architecture. So, as we know, currently our stakeholders, most of the applications are using monolithic architecture. Hence, by using this solution or by using microservice architecture, this will cope with the problem they are facing in their application. But for this project, we're only covering on this microservice architecture on email notification. So why microservice architecture is the solution? There must be a reason behind that. There are several benefits of using it. One of it is maintainability. Microservice architecture is easy to maintain compared to monolithic architecture. On the scalability side, it's more scalable compared to monolithic architecture. This is because microservice architecture is small and it can be deployed in many servers easily, and that has catered on the benefit of deployment. And the last one is the coupling. That's what is a microservice is all about. It's about decoupling. So we are basically what we are doing here is we have decoupled the notification features from all the application. So the development tools we are use some of it is a Laravel framework. We are using it for our backend, and MariaDB as our database for this project. So who has received the benefit of this project? There are three users that we are covering in this here is, so first is of course the end user. So they would not need to wait for the emailing process to be completed anymore, which means they would not have a bad experience when the emailing process took too much time. So our second user is of course our stakeholder, which is developer. So now the developer can request to use the API. The API can be used immediately once they have set their environment in their application. And not just that, they can also view all the notification status, either the notification has success or fail. And our last user is our stakeholder too, which is the server maintainer. Now the server maintainer can easily view all the applications that are requested to use the API or the microservice. So this project introducing a new directive where the server maintainer will not need to entertain the developer anymore. So basically, since developer can use the API immediately, the maintainer would not need to send the SLTP credentials, because the SLTP credential has been set in the microservice itself. So the methodology that we have used for this project is waterfall methodology. We only covered 3 phases for this project, which is requirements, specification and analysis phase, design phase and development phase. This is the mapping of problem to solution. So basically we have list our problem and the solution or use case for this project. So for the server timeout problem, we are provided a solution to use the API, which is the microservice, and the microservice has a queuing mechanism in it. So to create a notification basically means that the data or the emailing content that they send through the API will be recorded in the database, and once it's recorded, it will be queued in the system. Then the queuing notification will be sent through the SMTP server. So once it been queued, it will return respond directly to the application. That's the reasons why the process is really fast compared to send the SMTP by using the SMTP client directly. Okay, for our second problem is no login mechanism being used to store the notification status, right? So the solution is we are basically of course we have the logging, which is we record all those notification status in the system, and we allowing data view back all those notification status. The last problem statement is no proper platform to manage the request from the developer. So we are proposing we have provided a web-based system. So there are three use cases for this, which is apply for API usage. This can be done by the developer. So the developer can apply to use the API, and those API application can be read by the server maintainer and by the developer itself. And lastly, the server maintainer can revoke those API if there any suspicious activity that's happening by using those API. So now we are proceed with the system demo. Hi, welcome back. Now I will be demoing the web-based application for this project, and I will log as a developer. Proceed. As you can see, as a developer, I can view all my previous application that I had done. So let's try to add our new application. Let's say we have a new old application that we were using this API, such as staff management system, I guess. So we can put it the IP address of the server, and then we submit it. Once the data has been submitted, the application will receive the API keys, and those API keys can only be viewed once. This is for security purpose. So let's try to download the API keys, and this is for private keys. Oops, my bad. Okay, here is the example of the private keys, and let's take a look on the public keys. Try to download it and successfully download. So you can see we have successfully download. It's the same file. So this is the example of the keys that will be received by the developer, so they can use this to set up on their environment. Okay, below is the extra features where the developer can add others developer, so others developer can use this API information. We try. Someone got Zola here and add here, and we of course we successfully add her in this application, so she can view this API. So there's a lot here. They can regenerate these keys if there's this key has been compromised. We try to regenerate it. So there's a dialog show here. So this API keys will be down once this key has been regenerated. So that's sure, and of course the key has been my bad. The key has been successfully generated. Okay, so we take a look back on the staff management system. And you can see now those API keys cannot be nulled. As I said previously, those API keys can be viewed once. That is the security features of the system. Okay, let's try to see something else on our stated problem, which is no login mechanism, right? So here is the previous notification that have been sent through this application or this microservice. My bad. So let's see Macbox. This is one of the notification that successfully have been sent. Let's take a look if there any fail. So currently there is no fail notification, but this drop down is functional, and this is also functional. Okay, that is all for the developers part. Let's take a look on as a server maintainer. What a server maintainer can do. Okay, we login as our server maintainer, which is Nazumi Najori. Okay, so basically here, as a server maintainer, he or she can view all application that had been done by the developer. Here is all the list that application that in that through this web-based system. And the server maintainer also can view all those notifications stated through the microservice. Okay, that's all for the web-based system. We will be right back to look on those API or the microservice that we have proposed for this project. Hi, welcome back. So now I will be demoing the API for this project. I will be using Insomnia software to send the post request to our end, which is by using the API. As you can see, the data is not readable by us because this data I have pre-encrypted on the server. So basically, the Insomnia software will act as a server client to use the API. Let's proceed. Try to send this API. Click it. Okay, as you can see, we have successfully signed the API. Things is okay, and the status is 200, and we are achieving our goal, which is the response or the request is expected to be done under 1 second. So now let's see if the email is successfully sent. Oops, okay, it's here. Okay, as you can see now, the email is readable. It is because those encrypted data has been decrypted in our site. The API has decrypted and translate those data into usable data and send those data as an email. Now you might think this API is not very impressive at all, but solving a problem is not about impressive people. What's matter is we are solving those problems. It needs to be effective, and this API proving that the design of a system can change how it affects their user or the end user of the application. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.